Alright, so here we are. We're at the shop today. I gave you the rundown on the Mayhem wheels yesterday. Uh, Now I'll go over a little bit of the air ride suspension. This is pretty much everything that came in. We might still be missing a few parts, but pretty much everything. And I could have I went kind of on a budget with this one a little bit because they have different types of systems that they offer. I spoke with a good friend Elvis that he's got air ride on his truck. He's on Instagram, Milkman underscore 1971. He's got a 1937 International code that he built from the ground up. Dude's amazing, very, very amazing, talented. And so that's where we got the idea to do another milk truck. Or I say milk truck, it's actually a Coca-Cola delivery truck back in the day. So we're going to go over the air ride on this. He got me in touch with a place called Suspension Store, a gentleman by the name of Rigo. And I got in touch with him. He went over different options of air ride. And that's the route we went. I was going to get something off of eBay. Elvis said, don't do it. They're disposable units. You'll have problems, and we don't want problems. So what we did is we got in touch with Rigo. And this is what we come up with, and it's pretty cool. We started with a set of 444C Viair compressors. We went 2 compressors. He said that these would be just fine for us. They run at 200 psi capacity. We went with 8.5 gallon tank. It's either an 8 gallon or 8.5 gallon tank. Had it powder coated in Empire bronze from Columbia Coatings. That's the accents we're going to be going with this build, is gloss black with Empire bronze. So as far as the bags go, we went with a Slam Specialties 8-inch bag in the rear, 7-inch bag in the front. The rear is a RE8. It's a 2,600 pound bag, 8-inch in the rear. Kind of give us a little heavier duty option, just in case we wanted to tow with it and stuff like that. We're able to tow with it. And then in the front, we went with an RE7 Slam Specialties. Also a 2,600 pound bag, just a little smaller in the front to help clear the control arms and everything. We're still waiting on the control arms to come in. They're coming in from a company called Fat Fabs, located in Oklahoma. So those should be in on Tuesday. And that's also with the parallel 4 links and the Watts link kit for the rear axle. So once that stuff comes in, we can finally start installing all this stuff. They have different options when it comes to these. You can have an air ride set where it's on sensors. You can do them as far as Bluetooth, phone command now. We didn't want to, I explained to them we want to go on a budget. I don't need all that fancy technology. So this is one option that they have to offer. And you can do your air pressure by gauges. So I've got 2 gauges here. These will be installed in the dash. They're a 2-inch gauge, also by Viair. Each gauge has 2 needles representing the front, left, and right of the bags, and then the other gauge, of course, is your rear, the left and right on the rear. That way, while we're driving down the road, we can see how much each bag has as far as PSI in the bag. And that's how we adjust it as well. Once we understand where the ride height is and how much PSI the ride height has, then we can monitor our suspension by these gauges right here. So that's the option we went. It saved us quite a bit of money doing it that way. And then as far as like the manifolds, so on your typical setups, straight out of the tank, you'll have solenoids right out of the tank. I've went to a couple shows so far and looked at different setups that people had, and I really don't like how it has all these bulky solenoids sitting out of here. And I noticed that a lot of them, like even though they're like either chrome plated or nickel plated or something like that, I noticed that there was some surface rust and oxidation on it, and I didn't really care for that. I'm very picky when it comes to rust and corrosion and stuff. I don't like it. So one of the options that we did is we went with Slam Specialties and went with a built-in valve. This is a 4-way valve that mounts anywhere on the car. So now instead of having all these valves, all the valves are compacted into one little system. It's quite a bit heavy, which is pretty cool. It just screams quality. This is also Slam Specialties. Part number on this would be a SV8C4 is what this one is. And it's pretty simplified. Like, by all means, I'm not an electrical guy, but their instructions are extremely thorough. This thing makes it very easy, plug and play, very minimal as far as how you got to do it. I like it, I really do. As soon as I opened it up, I was already happy with it. And then we also went with the Slam Specialties black billet controller because I didn't want to do it off my phone. So this one comes with a controller, and everything is just extremely plug and play. It's very simple. It's awesome. So, I'll show you how easy it is. It's amazing. So you'll have black to a ground, red to your battery source. This one, yellow, will go to your ignition source. Orange, so this is the ground. So orange will go to your illumination, like your dimmer switch on your headlights or something like that. That way you can just simply control the dim on this. It's that simple. And then the box here just plugs into this harness, and that's how it's done. It's so easy, simplified. Everything here will mount inside the frame rail, then you'll feed your controller into the cab, and everything's controlled here. It's great. You can control left and right, up and down, rear and right, rear, left and right, up and down. You can control the completely in the rear, up and down, the front, up and down, and then you can control them both at the same times, in the center being your settings. Very, very simple. I'm excited to get this all installed. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the controller, it's the quality. They did a good job. Slam Specialties really nailed it with this one. This model was called a MC-2. And that's what we're going with. I think we're going to enjoy it. It's my first air ride suspension setup. I was never really into air rides. I didn't think it was just something that I would something that was going to be up my alley or nothing like that, until I met Elvis and got around some other air ride systems and met some of the people and seen some of the builds, and it was pretty much on from there. So just in case nobody knows, the vehicle we're doing is a 1939 International Co. A lot of people have never really seen them or heard of them, and they're extremely rare. They're so rare that I was explained that if you wanted a Model A or a Model T Ford, you could go out, if you had the money, you can have one by tomorrow. You could have one by the end of the day. A late 1930s International Co., you'll be searching a long time to try to even find one. As we know, there's maybe just a small handful of them left. I believe, from what I was told by Elvis, is they made like 207 of them in that body style from like 1936 to 1940, something like that. And they were used as Coca-Cola trucks or delivery trucks, and Coca-Cola, I believe, purchased most of the trucks and then put them to service, and if they got damaged, they were virtually like throwaway trucks. If they got damaged or anything like that, they would just send them off and get rid of them and start over with another one. That's pretty much what they were designed for. They're a pretty cool truck. Being as rare as they are, I'm excited to be a part of the build. And then down here, I forgot about this stuff. This is just your normal fittings and quick connects. These are all your quick connects, and for your 1/4 inch airline. The 1/4 inch airline will feed for the gauges. The 3/8 airlines will feed for the bags from the compressor and the tanks. We went with nickel plated swivel heads. These things, they seem to be pretty nice. The quality on them is good. One of your more rust-free, corrosion-free fittings that that is available on the market. So we didn't skip out on anything like that. But that's virtually what we have for the air ride system. I think I covered everything for the most part. Um, if you guys have any questions, feel free to just reach out and ask me. I'll explain it to the best I can. If I don't have the answer, I can find the answer. So that's about it. We're fixing to get started on the Corvette. I just had to get some stuff over here, and I figured this would be a good time to explain about the air ride, and then now we can get started on working on the Vette today. We got to pull the transmission out of it and fix a slave cylinder leak, and then get it fixed and put back in. It's a fun, tedious project, but it'll be fun. It's